Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast. Been a small break, just because obviously we haven't had a game for the last couple of weeks. Still no game for another week, but it's the international
We
break.
played this Saturday. We played this Saturday, 31st.
Yeah, I know it's another week away though. I'm calling it a week. By the time this video comes out, it'll be a few days, but to me, it still feels like a week. It feels like the weekend. I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, three weeks without a game, long time, but it's the international break, so there's a little bit to talk about. Some news as well. But anyway, yes, it's me with Luke as usual. How we doing, mate?
Yeah, doing really good, mate. Thank you for all the views for the Burnley review. 2.6k. It's really good for our channel. Yeah, this is episode 73. And as Paul said, there's been quite a bit going on in the background, but there was no point doing a show when we haven't got a match to talk about. We're going to start this week, though, with the Brady Sullivan, and I've put Sadiq as well, because obviously that's what their meetings have gone on. It's just all lies and just people passing the buck to each other, and it really still.
Yeah, I mean, I saw during the week someone had done a freedom of information request on all the letters basically between the Mayor of London and Karen Brady, and I have to say actually it was quite interesting to read. And I don't want to be a person that sticks up for Karen Brady because I can't stand the woman. I hate her, and we'll come in more to that for something else that happened this week. But I have to say, reading the letters that she's been sending to the mayor over the last sort of year, it really does seem they have been trying to do things with the stadium, and they're just running into issues with E20, the stadium operators, basically fighting them along the way. Probably the biggest example that came out of it was the track cover. So the cover over the track, we basically offered to pay for a new track cover so we could make it claret, so it looked good. Like in the letters, she's basically saying the players are saying it's being difficult. They can't judge the edge of the pitch, sort of thing. It's not safe. The current what it is, because they've just basically paid the absolute bare minimum they can get away with, and basically saying West Ham will pay for a brand new one, no worries, absolutely fine. And E20 for whatever reason turned around and said no. What they actually initially said was we're going to take the cover away and just have grey plastic tiles instead.
Lovely.
And then that was rejected because it would have been ridiculously dangerous. And in letters, you're saying like you're going to end up getting sued if a player goes over on these tiles. But it's things like that. So I have to say, reading her letters, her communications between the mayor, it seems like she come across all right. I have to say, it seems like she is trying, and it seems like they are coming up against a wall with E20. However, saying that, these are all problems they created in the first place. If she hadn't, like, if they'd have negotiated the contract better and made it more clear, this wouldn't be happening. You know, if we'd have gone for more control over the running of the stadium instead of going for the absolute cheapest possible thing, then we wouldn't be in this situation. So that's problems of their own making. But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting stuff. It seems like the mayor's not really got any time for her or the club. I don't know what's going to happen with regards to like this summer, and I don't know. I still think eventually they'll sell us they'll sell us the ground.
Obviously, there was that interesting sort of article that she released as well this week. Again, I think you sort of said it before we went live, mate. It's just her sort of denying her lies and saying like, "Oh, I don't remember saying that," and all that. It's just an article that's not needed again.
Yeah, I think the thing is it was supposed to be promoting some TV show that she's doing or whatever. I don't know, and this really showed her the person up for what she is, and that's just basically a hypocritical liar. And I think the article put it right. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. It was in the Guardian. There's links to it on Knees Up Mother Brown. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's well worth a read. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Whoever the journo was, he weren't holding back. He basically let her just string herself, and it was all rubbish. It was all about like, so this whole program she's doing is about, you know, equality for women and sexism in the workplace and that. And then when the guy tried to question her about saying, how can you justify that when you're working for two people who literally made their life out of, made their money and made a career out of pornography? And then she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. And then it's all like, I don't know, she just tied herself up. And it was things like, I don't want to talk about West Ham, while she's literally sitting in her office at West Ham.
Yeah.
And it's like saying, I'm not political, I've got nothing to do with politics, when she's a Tory peer. Like, it's just like, I suppose if you've been around Sullivan for that long, it's going to catch on, isn't it? It's just the lies and the spin just keeps pouring out. And like, it was silly things. In the same article, she says, I'm a self-made woman. And then she mentions her old man, who was a millionaire. And then she says that she was really proud that she went to college and she got 4 A levels and 6 O levels. And then later on in the same article, in the same interview, she says, I did it all myself. I left school with no qualifications. What? Like, does she even forget what she's saying? It's just pure lies. And the thing is, I think that really showed her up for who she really is. And you just can't, like, all 3 of them, you just can't trust anything that comes out of their mouths. You just can't trust them.
Few again, it's sort of been denied, but Sullivan apparently £700,000 in trouble through tax. I don't know if you read that article in the Times.
There's more than that. 700,000.
Yeah, 700,000. Yeah, that's what.
700 grand. Yeah, I know. So loads of this has come out, hasn't it? So basically, this was when they took over the club. He bought £2 million worth of shares in the club from one of his other companies. And then basically wrote the shares off, sold them back to the club for £1. And basically what that meant was he could declare that as a loss for his company, a £2 million loss for his company, even though he owns it. So he didn't actually lose any money personally, but it just means he didn't have to pay tax. So he was basically avoiding tax. Very illegal. I don't know. I feel like...
He has come out and denied it, apparently, and his lawyers are looking for an apology from the Times. I did read on the train on the way home tonight.
That's interesting. I haven't seen that. Well, I was going to say, one of the ways that it's probably going to be spun if it was true was that he can basically say, I was just injecting £2 million into the club, which effectively he did. I don't know. But it's just like, I don't know, just bad press after bad press after bad press. And at a time when we don't need it. This is a time when, after what happened at the Burnley game, such... like madness. By the way, all the fans that run on the pitch, they've all been banned for life. They've all been given lifetime bans. The club released a statement saying that fans who were caught throwing coins and throwing objects in the director's box have been banned for life as well. Interestingly, didn't say how many there were. I've still seen not a single piece of evidence, no videos, no photos or anything of anyone throwing coins or anything like that. Not saying it didn't happen, but it's just funny that there's no actual video of it or evidence of it. Seems a bit weird, especially considering a coin apparently hit Sullivan in the head. Really? I think you'd notice if that happened. Do you know what I mean? I think that would have been picked up on the cameras. So they've all been banned. What I saw, I don't know if you've seen this, mate. It only come out today. Again, one of the guys on Knees Up Mother Brown basically got a phone call from the club this morning, and he sits in the disabled section just below the director's box. And the club basically rang him up and told him, your seat's no longer available. You have to move your seat. And they were basically saying that they were going to downgrade him to a worse seat. And he turned around and said, no, that's not good enough. I've paid for this seat. You know, I want to sit there. So it seems like they're basically turfing out the disabled supporters to try and put up a barrier around the director's box to stop this happening again. Apparently this was picked up on TalkSport as well. TalkSport were talking about it today, and they said it as well. It's just more and more bad press and ill feeling against the fans. Like they're not doing anything to make this better. They're making it worse. It just
no, I agree, mate.
Nothing good has come out. What good in this last 2 weeks? What good has come out from the board to appease the fans?
Nothing. There's I don't know whether you've seen it, mate. A fantastic video by Hammers Chat where it breaks down the accounts and about where all the money's gone and all this. I don't know whether you've seen it, mate. Have you seen that video?
I haven't. No.
Please go check that out, guys. Anyone who watches this channel or watches their channel as well, really fantastic. Goes into depth about how much money we've borrowed and 7 million interest loans and all that. If you want to, and again, it doesn't paint a pretty light on them at all, mate. If you do catch that video at some point. Anyway, let's move on. A few rumours floating around about Moisey, whether he's going to stay or go. I don't know, mate. I really don't know, and I think we'll know a bit sooner rather than later. What do you think?
I don't know. I reckon they're going to drag it out to the end of the season. I see the press today linking us with Marco Silva. We've been
Pellegrini, obviously, earlier this week as well.
Pellegrini too. I don't know. I think they'll drag it out. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think we're going to stay up anymore. I don't think we're going to stay up. And if we go down, then I would imagine Moyes will definitely go. You definitely won't see the likes of Marco Silva or Manuel Pellegrini come in. So I don't know. Anything could happen. I mean, all these rumours as well this week about your guy from Newcastle, the defender.
The shells.
And like, I've just got to the point now where I'm seeing these stories come out, and I'm not even bothering to read them because it we've said this before a few weeks ago. I just don't trust anything. They could link us with anyone, and they could say we're going to buy this. We're putting a £15 million bid for whoever. I just don't believe any of it anymore.
And I don't. This director of football thing again. That don't fill me with confidence because at the end of the day, that director of football is still going to go, "Yeah, Dave, could you sign this cheque for me, mate?" And he's going to go, "Nah,
yeah,
it's too much money."
Yeah, exactly. Unless the director of football gets full control of the money. What's going to change? What's going to change, as we said before, the problem's not been identifying the players, it's been signing them, it's been paying the money and getting them done. That's been the problem.
Yeah, and they go for the cheaper option, I use the word cheaper loosely, and it not work out. Like your Cogcantors, I'm thinking, your Nordvets and people like that. Like,
it's like, can you imagine if we'd have signed Carvalho, if we'd have signed Dendonka, if we'd have signed Smolov, who scored...
Mate, you've got an half-decent side.
Smolov scored against France tonight, by the way. Like, if you'd have signed these players, who knows? Who knows what could have happened? It's not a problem of identifying the players. The players are there. Like
you've got to pay the money.
Exactly, mate. You've got to pay the money
to
get it done.
They're trying to pay. I see a really good. I think it was Sunday Supplement, Sky Sports guy. West Ham or Sullivan and Gold specifically are trying to pay pre-big TV money for players. Like £27 million. Yeah, it gets you out of it, and he looks a bit of a steal for that price now. But to get a good player now, you've got to be going 40 mil plus.
Yeah, 100%.
Like to be a real changer in your team, like that's actually going to go in your team and possibly make a big difference. You've got to be looking at £40 million at least.
I know, I agree, mate. I agree. I think you're exactly right. They're living in the past, big time. I don't think they've moved on with the times. Like you say, transfer fees, they have got ridiculous now, let's be fair. But I don't know, maybe they haven't got the means. Maybe they haven't got the money to do it. And, if so, that just comes back to the same thing. Then it's time for them to move on. If they can't take the club further forward, if they haven't got the money, they haven't got the capital to do it, they have to go.
Yeah, that was something I actually made. I don't know if you caught that as well in a Sullivan interview. Again, can't remember who it was with. I think it was at West Ham ISA actually, when they had their meeting with him, and they sort of discussed about how long you're going to be at the club, and he sort of hinted that he will give himself 5 years, and if it's not there, then he'll go.
I don't know. I wouldn't really put any weight behind that, to be honest. 5 years, I don't know, like anything can happen in 5 years, do you know what I mean?
That was something that video revealed as well, mate. Sorry, the Hammers chat video. Apparently that debt or whatever it is something like it's got to be paid by 2020. I'm sure that is what it said. So it would not surprise me if they go 2020. We might have them 1-2 more years. They might go then.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I think as long as, to be honest, I think at the minute it's just West Ham is just easy money for them. It's just a money making machine, like you touched on earlier. Like they're
£7 million a year.
Yeah, exactly. They've got their loans in the club. They're creaming off their £7 million interest every year. It's easy money for them, easy money, and I think they'll be happy enough to just ride along, float along, not really put any money in. That was another one of the big things that a lot of the people, a lot of the pundits, a lot of the things were saying this year was our total net spend since they took over was something stupid. Like, I can't remember the exact number now, but it was like 30 million. That's insane. 30 million pounds. Like you say,
over like 10 years, isn't it?
Post Sky money, this mega TV money is nothing. It's absolutely nothing, and that's why we are where we are. That's why we're struggling.
You're not paying the money. Yeah. So yeah, we've obviously our players have been away, mate. International hammers, obviously Lanzini. Well done to him. As much as it's like, oh dear, like don't put yourself in the shop window. He did score for Argentina, playing in Messi's role, I believe, wasn't he? That sort of left wing role.
He was playing. He's playing on the right, but he was kind of had a free role. He was sort of floating around behind Higuain.
And obviously those inevitable rumours come out a couple of days later that Barcelona are looking at him and Liverpool are looking at him.
Yeah. He played well. I mean, he did play well. He played like he does for West Ham. To be fair, he did float. He did drift in and out of the game.
A lot better players around him.
But exactly that, with a lot better players around him, there was actually movement. Like for the first goal, he lost the ball initially and then he won it back, and then he started that move for the first goal, and then obviously have you seen the guy? It's a brilliant strike.
Yeah, lovely goal. Yeah.
He should have scored again as well. Earlier on he should have scored. He should have scored an header. He had pretty much a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box. He missed, so he could have had a couple. And yeah, well done to him. I'm pleased to see him playing. I'll be honest with you, I said this earlier as well. If he goes to the World Cup, I don't think he'll play because he has been playing in Messi's position anyway. So unless Messi gets injured, I can't see him actually playing.
And even then, you've got your Dybalas and people like that.
Mate, Dybala's not even in the squad.
What?
I know. I'd no idea what's going on there. I don't know whether there's been a falling out with a manager or something, but he's not even in the squad.
Fantastic.
But I don't know. I don't think he'll play much. But then even like a lot of people have been saying, if he has a great World Cup, he'll go. I think he's going to go anyway. I can't.
Well, he was making some good noises this week, though.
He was saying, "Yeah, I'm happy at West Ham."
Yeah,
but
making some good noises.
That's what you'd expect him to say. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we'll be able to keep him in the summer. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I really hope I'm wrong.
I know I think to be honest, we've been discussing this since like the start of when we ever started making the podcast, mate. It's that fear, Sullivan and Gold. How much they going to accept for him? Like, and what is a good price for him?
What? So, a young Argentinian international,
Premier League proven, scoring goals
at an international level, mate. What? 40 million?
At least.
But you know, if Liverpool,
they're taking 25 million.
Mate, Liverpool come in and slap 25 million on the table, Sullivan would jizz his pants, mate. That would be it. He'd be like,
Lanzini would, got to spend that.
Lanzini would be gone.
That'll go missing. That 25 million will go missing.
But yeah, it's crazy, mate. Like what he's worth and that's that. Like you say, man, that's the big worry about it. That's the big worry. We know what he's worth. Can you imagine? Right, if he was a Tottenham player, can you imagine how much Tottenham would sell him for?
Oh, mate, he ain't going for less than 40-50 million pounds.
Tottenham would probably sell him for 60. Do you know what I mean? And then there's us, and we'll probably sell him for something stupid.
If Gylfi
like
Sigurdsson can go for 50 million pound, Lanzini can go for 50 million pound. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
In my opinion. No. I think Arnie's also had a couple of good, scored a couple of goals, mate, during the international break as well, which is good for him. It's good to see him keep scoring and stuff. Obviously, we played Dagenham and Redbridge in a little sort of friendly warm-up-y sort of game. Nice to see Jordan Hugill get his first goal, and that was against a lot lesser, lower opposition. And Tony also banging in 2. But bad news from that game, mate. Ginge obviously picked up an injury. Probably the worst player that could have picked up an injury, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you wonder who are we going to play in defence now?
He's got Ogbonna Rice.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be. We are absolute bare bones. You wait. Ogbonna's probably going to get an injury tonight now if he plays.
we'll talk about the Saints game in a minute, mate. Just one other thing I want to touch on because we've not done a show since. Other international hammers, Andy Carroll in Miami Beach. Now, listen, I know it's happened a long time ago now, but I understand the warm weather training and that, and to get away from the dramas that were going on. But I don't know, just seeing Andy Carroll there really wound me up. It really did wind me up. It's like, mate, you've just gone there for a jolly up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to be back indoor in the training ground at Rush Green on the weights, on the running machine, getting yourself fit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you can blame Andy Carroll for that. Like, we all know what he's like. It's the club's responsibility, really. We'll see how much of an impact this made, won't we? The weekend against Southampton, we'll see how much of an impact this. When we've done this for a few years now, haven't we? When Allardyce taking them to Dubai and stuff.
Yeah, Barcelona and things like that. Do you agree with it at this stage?
It has never worked.
Where we are now.
Every time we go away on one of these warm weather trainings, I'm pretty sure every single time we get smashed the first game back. Yeah. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I do think you're right there.
So I don't know why. It's obviously it's a chance for everyone to go and have an holiday, innit? You know.
Yeah.
I can even understand sometimes, like, say, like what some of the big clubs like Man United do. They might go to America and things like that and play a few friendlies. Or that I understand because you know they're generating exposure, they're creating fans basically. But just going to Miami to doss around on a boat, do you know what I mean? I don't know, mate. I don't think there's any worth in it. I think it's just an excuse for an holiday.
Yeah. Moving on, mate. Let's talk about it. Saints. Huge. We're probably going to be saying this to the end of the season now. Probably the biggest game of the season. But this really is. What is it? They're 1 point above us, I believe. So if we lose that game on Saturday, mate, I don't know.
A lot of people have been saying. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying whoever wins this stays up and whoever loses goes down. And I think that's probably about right, to be honest. I can't see anything good coming out of this game. We're coming off of a 3-week break. We've got more injuries than we started the break with. Saints have
seen little knocks as well. Chiara's ill, but probably will play. You got, like you just said earlier about Lanzini, mate, had a knock, but probably will play. I don't know, mate. There's just a couple of positives I do want to fill in there, though, mate. Fernandez, I completely forgot he even plays for us, that guy. He's apparently fit. He's a nice little tidy player. I quite like him. And obviously, Masuaku, mate. And there is some ridiculous stat about games we've won with him. I know I used to always disc the Mark Noble ones about him with the stats about when he used to play. But Masuaku will definitely give us a better shape. You know,
yeah, I agree.
Left, Antonio right.
That also actually gives an opportunity for, if Cresswell plays that left centre-back role, if we're short, I suppose. No, it'd be good to see Masuaku back. Interestingly enough, I see today he's left the international camp.
But
yeah, it'd be good to see him back. As far as Fernandez might now be recovered from his injury, but he's going to be way off a match fit. He's not going to be match fit.
Nice player to have back around the squad, though, because he is a tidy little player.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, yeah. And we need bodies. He's another... Although he's not really in a position that we need, but...
No. Hugh Gill, do you think Hugh Gill should be given a chance? I really do.
Over who?
I would play Hernandez.
Hernandez ain't really been playing anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can drop Hernandez for Hugh Gill, though.
No, but I would just give him a go. Like, if you haven't... Like, as a manager, right, we know that Hernandez is good, but if Moyes don't fancy him, you've got to try him out. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd give him a go, I suppose, but I don't think he's going to do anything. I don't.
You know, I can see, to be honest, mate, I can see Antonio playing up front. where he got them 2 goals, I can see us using him as a striker. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but that's what I can see.
Yeah. Yeah, we could well do. It could be Antonio and Arnautovic as a front two. That'd be quite mad, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of power there, isn't it? A lot of power.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think this game is coming at a bad time. Southampton had a decent win in the cup. New manager bounce. You know, decent win in the cup. I feel like the players that we've got fit. I don't know. I just think they're.
I just don't think we want it, mate. I don't think we want it. I don't think we turn up wanting it enough.
Let's hope we're wrong, mate. Let's hope we're wrong. Let's hope we turn up and we really go for it. I genuinely don't. I can see it. I reckon it'll be cagey. I can see us conceding a stupid goal, and then that's it. The crowd will go. Yeah. And that'll be it.
Mate, if we lose that game, what do you envisage if we lose that game in terms of the crowd?
Well, it'll be carnage. And I hope it is. And I hope there are protests still. And I hope they're still, protesting the board. I think it came at a good. This break came at a good time for the board, because this give 3 weeks for everyone to calm down and everyone to relax a bit. Nah, keep the pressure on. Obviously, I'd rather we won the game. I don't want to see us lose the game.
Obviously, you want us to win, but still, listen, protest away, even if we win. Cheer the players on and give the players a clap, and then as soon as the players have left the pitch, if you're still at the ground, give them a bit of jip.
See, this is a thing as well. Mark Noble done an open letter to the fans today, sent out to everyone's email, and it just Mark was basically saying, we need the fans behind us. When the fans are behind us, they're the best, and we need all we want to stay up, and we want to get the points we need to win games and stay up. And if the fans ain't behind us, it makes it difficult, and if they get on our back, and it makes it hard for the players. But then, I understand that, and I get that. But then the tone of it was basically he's blaming the fans for the team being rubbish. It's not the fans' fault that West Ham are flirting above the relegation zone. It's the players. The players ain't been doing it. The players ain't been putting the effort in. It's not the fans' fault. All right. Against
to a certain extent, mate. Yeah, you can. He can sit there and argue. He's not gonna say this, but you could say, okay, Moyes, Bilic, whatever, has not been given the quality of player on the pitch, but your Burnleys, your Huddersfields, your Brightons, your Bournemouths, even they are nowhere near our level of playing talent, but they give you something 120% on that pitch.
Yeah.
And heart and fight.
Yeah, and our players haven't done that. And it's all we want to do everything we can to get the points to stay up. And it's I don't...
You go 1-0 down and they go missing.
But it's not even that. It's not even about... It's not... The fans ain't protesting because we're losing games. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't help. And if we were winning games and we were top half of the table, I'm sure everyone would be a lot happier. But that's not the main reason. That's not the sole reason. It's a product of it. That's the fans are not protesting because we lost to Burnley. They didn't run on the pitch, because we were losing and we went 1-0 down. It was part of it, but it was a product of it. It was
frustration, yeah.
Yeah, it was more. It's the club in general, and I hate all this. That things like Noble's letter basically makes it look like we're just moaning because we're losing, and I hate that. I really hate that. West Ham fans are used to losing. When have we ever won anything? Not in our lifetimes.
We can take losing, mate, but it's just,
It's everything else that goes with it. It's the lies and the false hope and the false promises and broken promises. That's what's got the fans completely at the end of their tether now. It's not because we're losing a couple of games. We lose games every season. It's that just kind of winds me up. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Dare I say it, mate? Prediction for the Southampton game.
Like I say, mate, I reckon we'll concede. And it will turn nasty.
Rumours are Charlie Austin late fitness test. Yeah. Bang, 300 quid on it. Charlie Austin to score.
Yeah,
And it's Mark Hughes' first Premier League game, should I say. It's a banker then to win, no?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I don't think it looks good for us at all.
No, I don't. And you look
Like
at
you
them
say,
coming thick and fast.
if you had to say what team wants it more, what team's got the fight to get out of it, it's not West Ham.
No, I agree, mate. We haven't got them fighters, and like especially losing your Ginge. We've only got about 2 or 3 fighters in there.
Yeah.
Like, we've lost a major fighter, major fighter in there.
Especially when you look at players like Lanzini. I love Lanzini, but players like Lanzini, Hernandez. I don't want to class Arnautovic because Arnautovic does try, but players like that, they know that if we go down at the end of the season, they know they ain't got no trouble finding another club. They'll find another club, no problem.
Yeah.
So there's no I don't know. There's just nothing. I just don't, like you say, mate. We haven't got the fighters. We haven't got them in the team at the minute.
Yeah. Let's go on to the questions, guys. Tony, quite a few questions actually, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So thanks a lot, guys. Tony Wallace, do you think the owners will go out and get a top manager this summer, regardless if David Moyes keeps us up? No, I think they'll go cheap and cheerful, and they want a yes man.
I reckon I reckon if we stay up, I reckon they'll try. I reckon we'll be linked with the likes of Pellegrini and Silva and whoever else. We'll be linked with them, but I don't. It's the same thing. It's all going to come down to the same thing. Managers like that, if they're going to come to our club, they're going to sit down in a meeting with Sullivan and they're going to say, "Yeah, I'll come to West Ham.
I want blah blah blah."
Yeah, I want 100 million to spend. And Sullivan's going to go, no, you can have 25 million, and then anyone you sell, you can have the money.
Yeah,
that's what'll happen, and because of that,
it is.
Because of that, that's why we will only attract
managers won't come.
Yeah, that's why we'll only attract mediocre managers.
Jamie Gill, do you think Chicharito will go in the summer, even if we stay up? And do we need to bring in a new high-profile striker? Or a manager that can use Chicharito properly? I don't think Chicharito will be in the summer, and it is a shame that it's not worked out for him. Massive
shame. Yeah, 100%. He'll definitely go. Huge shame. He'll probably go to America, and I'm sure wherever he goes next, he'll bang him in like he has done all his career. Yeah, God, we desperately need. I don't know if we need to buy a higher profile striker. We just need to buy a good one. Because who have we got in a minute?
Someone that offers something a bit different, like, I don't know, I'm going to throw some names out there, like Solomon Rondon, and, something a bit different. Like, he's a bit old now, but I really do like Troy Deeney. Someone like that, just a nasty geezer, but he can clap in about 15 goals a year in a good side. Keyword there, good side, which we're not. But there are some names linked, again, season ticket renewal season, so
I think we were linked with Balotelli during the week as well.
Yeah, we was, mate. Still young.
That would be a disaster. That would be an absolute disaster.
Him and Arnautovic, I'm sure they played together before, him and Arnautovic, actually, at Inter Milan. They probably were together at the same sort of time when Jose was there. Yeah, it's worth looking to see whether they used to play together and how that worked. Darren Bew, choice of owners, lads. Gold Sullivan, Terence Brown, or Icelandic?
I'd take the Icelandics. Like, to be fair to them, right? To be fair to what was his name, Björgensson? Is that his name? Björg.
Yeah, Björgensson and Egert Magnusson.
Yeah, to be fair to them, I think they had all the right intentions.
Their heart's in the right place.
Yeah, 100%. And they were putting money into the club. They offered to buy the Olympic Stadium before it was even conceived. They were putting money in, they were buying players. The players didn't necessarily work out, like, Freddie Ljungberg, Kieran Dyer. But at the time, for West Ham, they were big signings for West Ham.
Craig Bellamy, Scott Parker, signed
exactly. It's just typical West Ham that we managed to get billionaires at a time when their economy collapses and they go bankrupt.
Yeah, it is. It's just that is the West Ham way. But yeah, listen, they can say all this, oh, the club was run like a circus and they borrowed off the season tickets and they borrowed off the sponsors and that. But you cannot deny it. They tried their hardest to get some good players in at the time. Yeah, it might not have worked out for all of them. But Scott Parker, is, as much as he went to Tottenham and that, fantastic player for West Ham. Fantastic player for West Ham. Lucas Neal also signed during that era. Fantastic player. Craig Bellamy, I know he went to Man City, but again, a couple of games for West Ham and that, fantastic. You know, Lundbergs and Kieran Dyers, you know, that happens, you know. I think Barami also signed in that sort of era as well. Get me if I'm wrong, quote me if I'm wrong, but there were some good players there. Lynn Carnell, do you think Moyes will be our manager next year?
I don't know, not really. I think if we stay up, they'll try and get somebody who's a bigger name. I don't want to say somebody better, because I don't think Moyes is that bad a manager. I really don't. I actually think he's a decent manager. He just hasn't been given the tools. But no, I don't. I think if we stay up, I think, to be fair, is he even going to want to stay after this season? I doubt it. I think he's done enough to rebuild his reputation.
Yeah.
And I think he'll probably be looking to move on as well. And I think Sullivan will want to try and bring in a bigger name.
Turku Iron, I think that says. Hart or Adrian for the Saints game? Big call.
I don't think Adrian should have been dropped. Hart come in and did nothing. What did he do? He just made more blunders. You know, he's out of the England team. For me, 100% Adrian should be back in goal, and I think he should have. I don't think he should have been dropped.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Adrian for me as well. Peter Coker, hello, Pete. People attack the board by protesting during matches, still turning up, paying money, and lining the pockets. Why don't everyone protest by not going to the matches and not buying tickets, programs, hot dogs, beers? What are your thoughts, lads?
Well,
mate,
yeah,
in a utopia world, that would be fantastic if we could all do that. But
obviously, but the
we
thing
all
is,
love West Ham, and that is the drug.
It's not even that. It's like they've already got the season ticket money.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've already got the season ticket money. If you've got a season ticket and you don't go, it's not costing them anything. I do agree though about you know, not spending any money in the ground, not buying programs, because yeah, it's true. If you want to hit them where it hurts, get them in the wallet. But then again, saying that, the match day crowd's nothing. So, correct me if I'm wrong. The terms of the tenancy agreement, West Ham don't actually make any money from concessions.
No,
so the food and that'll go to the stadium. So unless you're buying shirts and merchandise,
buying shirts and stuff, really.
It's a merchandise, yeah. If you stop buying merchandise, but then how much do West Ham make from merchandise? Nothing.
It's
TV money.
Yeah, I actually read something a few weeks back saying that the actual fan bit now is peanuts, like in terms of what they earn from TV and stuff now. Adam West Ham Levette. We answered this question about 2-3 years ago, but I still love this question. What is your best West Ham shirt you ever owned, and what is your worst, guys? Best Paolo Di Canio Fila.
Yeah,
I just love Paolo.
That was the navy one.
No. I love the claret,
the home one,
the claret with the blue sleeve. I just love that shirt. It's Paolo.
It's a nice kit. Again, I've said this before on the podcast. We spoke about this. I love a white kit. I am a big fan of white kits. I really like the Adidas away kit we had. It was with the Alpari sponsor. It was just white with the claret 3 stripes, and it had a claret pinstripe in it. It was a lovely kit.
The white feeder kit actually from that Paolo era was a fantastic, nice white away kit as well.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, there's lots.
Centenary kit is a classic.
Centenary
as well.
Kit was it was actually quite a terrible kit. It was.
Oh yeah, the collar was about that big.
But yeah, it was nice. Like with the bubbles. The bubbles was nice.
The last bowling kit as well.
That was a really, really nice kit.
That's just, that's one of them iconic ones for us.
Really nice kit. What about worst?
Is that Julian Dix one, that cream one?
The beige pony one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Awful. Didn't we have a Czech kit a few years ago as well? Did we have? Do you remember talking about the stripe one, do you remember the actual feeler one with the big purple collar? It was white and then purple lines going down it. That's Paolo era. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely, yeah. It's quite similar to the one I was talking about with the Adidas one with a pinstripe, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was an awful one. That was the one you're saying is nice, but
do you remember this was just a couple of years ago, the purple and sort of purple and gold kit?
Yeah, that was a bit weird as well.
Third kit.
I'm trying to find a picture of this quickly before I move on. I've got it. Here we go.
Oh yeah. No, that wasn't great.
No, that wasn't the best kit in the world. That was it.
If it had claret sleeves or something, it'd be better.
Yeah, but a great man wearing it, so that doesn't matter. Adding Andy Smith, I believe our square is already. I don't know. Our squad, sorry, is already 3/4 players light, and we will have Mario, Hart, and Evra leaving at the end of the season. So realistically, how many players do we need to sign, and should we be looking at a formation that best fits the players we have? I would love to see a few players sold as well, but can't see us being able to do all the business in one window. Very good question.
Very good question, and a very, very good point. Yeah, I mean, we need a massive overhaul. Let's be fair. In the summer, we need a massive overhaul. I like the question about the formation. That's interesting. So, what do you do? Do you pick a formation based on the players you've got, or do you pick a formation the manager wants to play, and then buy players that fit that formation? That's the way that I think it should be done, which isn't something that seems like has happened in the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, I think we need just a squad overhaul.
Well, you're looking at it, mate, nearly everywhere. So, like you just said, Joe Hart goes, you have to buy a goalkeeper. Whether that's going to be the starting goalkeeper or second choice, you have to buy one. You're probably going to be looking at a centre half. Desperately need a central defensive midfielder who's a boss, like a proper beast in there. And then you need a forward.
I think the only area we're okay is the sort of attacking midfield. Attacking midfield to me is the only area we're fine, because obviously you've got Lanzini, you've got. I know Chalmaro are probably going to go. It'd be great if we kept him, but we've got that midfield area. We've got Lanzini, Chiarte, Noble, Obiang, Fernandez. Then you've got like Antonio, Arnautovic can play wide. Snodgrass will be back in the summer.
If he stays, he will if we go down.
So I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, we need strikers and we need defenders massively, and a central defensive midfielder.
Yeah. Good question, this one. Stuart Neighbour, what do you think the title of this year's season review DVD will be?
I don't think they'll release one. That's funny. I've got every season review DVD for I don't know, pretty much all of them basically. There's like it probably lasts for 10, 12 years. The only year they didn't release one was twice actually. The relegation seasons. They don't release DVDs after relegation seasons. I think one of them we only won like 3 games in the whole season, so there wouldn't have been much of a DVD to make. But I don't know.
think the title was going to be something like "We Were Too Ambitious."
They're quite funny. The ones that like some of them are titled like when we came up, seasons we come up, they're titled like "Back Where We Belong" and things like that. They're quite funny. But yeah, I don't know.
Let us know, guys. What do you think the title of this year's DVD? It can be funny or it can be serious. Drop it in the comments. Brian Thompson, is the Southampton game crucial? Well, it's only probably the biggest game of the season, mate, as we keep saying. It really is. Really is.
It's not crucial, mate.
Looking ahead, you've got, like I say, you've got the Man City game. Like I say, maybe hopefully the league's wrapped up by then and they're still going in the Champions League. There's little things like that can play into our cards. The Arsenal game, would it be thinking about the Europa League games that they've got? There's all these little things that, can potentially play into our hands. I'm not that scared of Man United, I'll be honest as well. I'm not that scared of them. But we'll see. American West Ham podcast. Let's say we don't get a result this weekend, only a draw or a loss. What percentage do you give us, guys, of staying up? 20%?
Like I say, I think if we lose, I do think we're going to beat one of the big teams. I do think we're gonna pull a result out somewhere. But I do think if we lose at the weekend, again, I think the fans are going to turn. It's going to get nasty. And I just think morale is just going to fall to the floor. And I think that'll be it. I think if we lose, I think that's it. I think we're done.
Yeah. Couple from Instagram. Is the director of football what we need at the moment? Well, they can't do anything yet till the summer anyway, so
yeah.
We don't need it right now. But I know, like me and Paul said earlier in the show, unless they got full rights on 100 million, 150 million pound, what is the point of having them when David Sullivan signs the checks at the end of it? Another one. Do you think we will try to get Mario on a permanent in the summer? Probably will, but it'll be like £4 million bid.
Yeah, if we stay up, will we try and keep him? It depends on the money, doesn't it? What was the release clause? It was saying like 25 million.
25, yeah.
Listen,
I think he's been a bit harshly treated. Like, people are jumping on him a little bit. I've read some fans saying he's not that good, but listen, none of the team's good. He's just not. To be fair to him, he's not what we need at the moment. I think, if I'm being fair, like he's an elegant. I hate using the word luxury player, but we didn't need that. We needed a boss in that midfield. We needed a Fellaini, a Cavallo, or whatever. At Dunker, we didn't need a pretty player. Would you want Yap Stan to replace Moyes in the summer? Not really. No, be honest. 8 games left. How many points do we need to stay up? 7.
Yeah, I was going to say sort of 6. I think 7's probably a good shout.
I think 7. Is using wing backs our downfall? Everett and Zabaleta are both brilliant defenders, but lack the legs to both forward and backwards. Certainly exposed us a lot this year in terms of that. Listen, Zabaleta is a fighter, and he has done. Some of his performances have been really like gutsy, but he's not, the 10 years ago Zabaleta that was winning titles at Man City by any stretch of the imagination.
He hasn't got the legs anymore, and I've seen quite a few people saying now in the modern game, the fullback / wing backs, one of the most important positions on the pitch, and you need someone who can get up and down, up and down, up and down. And having 2 players who are like sort of 34, 36, you're not going to get that. It's just, it is. It's a big problem. And I do like Zabaleta. I think he would have been a great player to bring in, but not someone to rely on. Do you know what I mean? Someone maybe as a sort of backup, someone to, again, when he first signed. Yeah, when we first signed, we were talking about him as like, tutoring Byram and sharing his experience and a good person to have in the dressing room. But someone to rely on each week as a wing back as well, not even a full back.
Midfield at one point.
Yeah.
If you could ask David Sullivan one thing, what would it be? Mine would be, where is the money? Yeah. Oh, I would say, how much does it take to get you out of my club, mate? Yeah,
I don't know. If he had to answer honestly, and like he had to answer honestly, I would want to ask him about the move. Why did he buy West Ham? Just to make money off the stadium move?
Yeah, if he had to answer honestly. Yeah. 2 more questions, I believe. Yes, Tommy Bones. Hello, mate. Another sort of old friend. My question is, do we have the right to moan? We were never a top 5 club before the move, so did we really expect the move to bring world-class players? And how do we recover from this and attract better players to the club? Good question.
Well, but mate, we've already spoke about this, and this is like I was talking about it earlier. No West Ham fan expects West Ham to be in the Champions League, to be in Europe, to be winning every week. No
But
West Ham fan expects that. It's
to have aims to get there.
Yeah, and it's the broken promises. We were sold a lie. That's it. We were sold a lie. We were told that if we left the Boleyn and we moved to the London Stadium, we would have a world-class team fit for a world-class stadium. And it hasn't happened. So that's that. I'm not going to say I'm speaking for all West Ham fans, because I'm not. I'm speaking for myself. But that's why I'm annoyed. It's the fact that they gave us those promises, and they got us to leave our home on the basis that this was going to take the club to the next level. Teams like Arsenal were going to be looking over their shoulder, and it hasn't happened. They haven't put the money in to do it. It's been an absolute disaster. That's why I'm annoyed. That's why I'm moaning. It's not because I think we should be winning every week and we're not. It's not because I think now we've moved into this stadium we're automatically a big club. I don't believe that, but I do believe that we were told that moving into this stadium would allow us and allow the board to put more money into the club, to have better players on the pitch, and to try and get us to that level, and it just hasn't happened.
No, I agree, mate. Totally agree. Last question, Sarif. Loads of David Moyes questions today. Is David Moyes the right manager to take us forward as a club? I don't know. No, for me. I think it started well, and I quite like the coaching team that he had in place. Would have been interesting to see if he would have got backed properly in January, what he would have actually brought in and where it would have been. So maybe, it's not his fault totally, because he didn't get the players he wanted.
Mate, I think that's the big thing. I think that is the big thing. Like, he looked like he'd turned us round. We were doing well. And then the January window came and went, and we signed no one of note. You're saying he didn't get the players that he wanted, and after that it's gone downhill. I think if he was backed, if he was given funds to try and build a team, and they stuck with him for a few years, I can see him being able to build something good with West Ham, just like he did at Everton. But he'd need time and he'd need funds, and I don't know whether he's going to get either of those under this current board.
No, I agree, mate. His last bit of question was a funny one, just to end on the questions. Do you guys eat pot noodle? If so, what is your favourite one?
Oh, mate, I do. I don't eat them regular, but I do like a pot noodle. I really like hot and spicy things, so it's got to be a Bombay bad boy.
Bombay bad boy, eh? I can't say I eat them, to be honest. I've had a chicken one before, but yeah, I can't say I really eat them, to be honest, mate. Let us know your favourite pot noodle. That's a jokey thing to add in there. Couple of things to talk about, just as we always do, mate, in the other sort of sporting little headlines that we actually find interesting. Champions League draw, Man City versus Liverpool, fantastic draw. Shame they sort of met each other at this stage, but that will be a fantastic game, no? Man City Liverpool.
Yeah, it's an interesting draw. Was it Real Madrid Juve as well?
Yeah, another one. I fancy Juve, I fancy Juve to throw a little shock in there,
I don't know if it'd be much of a shock. They're a fantastic team.
Yeah, losing finalists last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good draw. It's a really good draw. I don't know.
I do want to see. I'll be honest. I want to see Man City win the Champions League. I would love to see it. I think for a team they are.
Yeah, realistically, I think they're the only English team with an actual chance of winning it.
I think whoever wins that game can win it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Liverpool can win it if they beat City. I think they can win it.
Liverpool are a great attacking team, but I don't think they've got what it takes to beat Europe's elite.
I don't know, mate. They're the only team to beat City this year as well.
Yeah. I don't know, but I can see, like, can you see Liverpool in a crucial Champions League game turning up and beating Real Madrid, beating Juventus? I don't know. I don't know, mate. I don't know if they turn up and play how they can play. Like Salah, undoubtedly is one of the best players in the world at the moment.
there's not many teams that can stop him at the minute. But yeah, like I say, it's there to be done. And last little thing I do want to mention, obviously the big man AJ is back this weekend against Joseph Parker. Going to be exciting. You know,
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Love seeing AJ fight. Did you see the Dylan White fight?
Yeah, that geezer, he looked like a bouncer that just thought, do you know what, I can handle myself in the street, so I might go in the ring.
Unbeaten, mate. He was undefeated.
Yeah.
And he was a former world champion.
Was he?
Yeah. So, like, I know what you're saying, though, man. He looked so soft. He was just a massive lump with a punch. But yeah, it's quite funny. And then White called out David A after the fight, and it's like, oh, come on.
He's not bad, Dylan White. He's a bit erratic with his hands, but you know, he did give AJ a little test when he fought him.
He did, and do you know what? I have to say, against that geezer at the weekend, he actually looked a lot better. He looked decent. He looked like he was actually
weight.
Yeah, he looked like he was actually boxing. But yeah, decent. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the AJ fight. Always enjoy seeing him.
I just hope again. You just want to see him tested. You know, don't want to see him lose at all. But I want to see a good fight. I don't want to see him keep blowing people away in 4 rounds. I don't want to see that. I want to see him get a little clump in here and there. Do you know what I mean? That's what makes a good fight. Well,
he did against Klitschko, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. That was a great fight because of that.
And against White as well. Yeah. He has been tested. He has been it. I think, to be fair, I think Klitschko, if he had put the pressure on, he would have beat him.
Yeah, I think he would have.
He would have took him out. But
this Parker's a good fighter, though. This Parker is a very good fighter. I've seen a few clips. I've only seen bits and bobs on YouTube and the Huey Fury fight. But these Aussies, they're tough. They're tough guys. I remember the guy who beat Kevin Mitchell. Tough, these Aussies, warriors. But yeah, I think AJ would do him in 8. I think AJ would knock him out in 8. Yeah. One other thing I do want to mention on Boxing Mat, don't know if you read it. Canelo GG. What do you make on that? On all this sort of drug ban and stuff, and that they've banned him till April the 10th, so he can still have his fight.
It's a bit pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, politics. They can't afford to lose that money. They can't afford to lose the money of that fight. And it's a shame because I do love GG. I love Canelo as well, but it's not right. It's not right. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's not good for the sport boxing either.
Yeah. So it's only the most corrupt sport in the world.
yeah. Apart from probably the Tour de France, that's probably more corrupt. Yeah.
I can't say I know anything about the Tour de France, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, well, I think every winner of the last 20 years has been proven a drug cheat. Yeah. Yeah. That is it for this week's, guys. I hope you're all praying with me to whatever you believe in, that we pick up a result this weekend, because I don't even think I'm going to have the emotional energy to do a video or a podcast if we lose on Saturday. Yeah, we will be back next week. Episode 74 will be back next week. I hope you've enjoyed this week, guys. Obviously, a little bit more condensed because we just sort of summed everything up. And obviously, there'll be more news building up now as the fixtures come thick and fast. Until then, guys, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave some comments on what you think about anything we've said today. Come on, you irons. Keep believing. Let's go.
Cheers.